Ladies and gentlemen, we got something new here at the high school champions starting 11. It's called Sponsorship Thursday. And who better is the guy, you just call him Eddie O. I try to call him Eddie O'Kill Me. And it's close, I'm sure. But the whole story goes is that Eddie's part of the company that is handling the platform for the USHSCL.com, our what we call a platform in development. Reach out to your coaches and administrators and get somebody who would be a first class team reporter to make sure all your information for the high school champions league will be out on this site and you could read about everybody else across the nation. So here we go as a college planning AI, man. It's Eddie's got the whole situation. I myself, if I was a young lad, there's I would I could not afford not to have Eddie on my team to get me where I need to go to right fit. His code to get $100 off. You mentioned Wales, high school champions league. He gets you $100 off. It's a QAFHSCL. I'll write all these down in the notes, but I want you to understand Coolidge.com. QOOLLEGE.com. That's what you need to know and to go forward in peace. Eddie O,
Yes,
proud
Kevin.
sponsor of the National High School Champions League starting 11 or thereabouts. The floor is yours, Governor.
Thank you, Kevin. What's up, Kevin? We're deep in late August, and obviously the grind is on in most of the regions. The High School Champions League schedule is in full swing, and the official select match ball for the U.S. High School Champions League is flying across the turf all over the country. This is high school season. This is the High School Champions League season. So before I begin, Kevin, I need a quick shout out. I know you already talked about Select, but personally, I need a quick shout out to Select Sports and also official sponsor of the High School Champions League, Will Certified. Your podcast is giving us the opportunity to continue to improve the program. So if they are interested in the High School Champions League to support the movement, they can go to ushscl.com and they'll get more information about that. The platform was sponsored by Coolidge, QOOLLEGE.com. Like you mentioned, if they put in the code QAF HSCL, they'll get $100 off discount. They can sign up for the base and for free. So I think it's important that we recognize Select Sports and Whale Certified for their continued sponsorship of the U.S. High School Champions League because sport is powering the national stage for our student athletes.
Well,
So,
you got me humbled, man. I'm humbled.
so now that obviously without the sponsors of the High School Champions League, it's not going to be the way it is right now. So right now, teams are actually hitting the heavy 2 or 3 game week because the season is started. The schedule is tight, right? Mid-quarter academics checks are looming, and obviously fatigue is going to start to test everyone's discipline. The season is started. So today we're talking about beating that late August slump. They've been doing preseason along the way. The game is started now, the anxiety. So let's break down how athletes can manage physical recovery, how coaches can protect their academic eligibility early enough so that we don't have a problem of ineligible players playing, mid-season. And also, how can college help the application deadline, put them on autopilot so families don't drop the ball of the pitch while competing. And let's not forget, Sigi, Negley, College Counseling is another sponsor of High School Champions League, and he's always been supportive of the movement. So I want to give credit to Sigi as partners of the High School Champions League. And so let's not forget that.
Right.
All right, so top is starting 11 for this week, Kevin. As usual, I'm always going to be talking about athletes, parents, and coaches. This may be the last series in that because now we are in season, so I might have to change it up. World Cup is over. The league is started, so I'm going to speak to athletes, parents, and coaches. So I'm going to break them down out of my 5 points. My number 1 point is how do they beat that physical and mental fatigue in Champions League play? Because this is high-level high school ball, Kevin. The second topic today is to address the parents. How do they keep perspective during the high-stake rivalry? Because the rivalry is now, in between high schools in the High School Champions League, and derbies and rivalries are great because it creates that atmosphere that we want our athletes to be able to thrive. So how do parents keep that perspective during this stage? Well, I'm going to talk about that. And obviously, coaches, constructive video analysis, film interrogations, because if you notice with the World Cup, there's a lot of rules and tactical adjustment that goes on. And so I'm thought the coaches are probably, coming off a World Cup fever, wanting to be constructive and analyze videos to be able to implement tactical decisions. So we're going to talk about that. And my favorite all time is the athletic directors, right? They're thankless job. So I'm going to talk about the mid-quarter academic progress audits because they're responsible for multiple sports within the school. And last but not least, my fifth will be college integration. I look at it as let's use sports. Let's use the High School Champions League as a vehicle to getting academic success. So automating those deadlines during that heavy match week when they have to train and travel, play home and away, I'm going to talk about that. So like I said, how do athletes beat that physical and mental fatigue in Champions League play? Kevin, when you're playing elite competition back to back, which is what the student athletes are doing, high performance comes down to what you do in the 22 hours between matches. A lot of kids and players don't understand the importance of sleep, the importance of hydration and active recovery, periodization. These are not optional, right? They dictate your speed of play because when you get good rest, good hydration, and active recovery, your speed of play is going to increase. You're now staying up. If you're staying up to 1 a.m., then you're beginning to burn the candles, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes these kids, they stay up, they're scrolling social media after a Tuesday night match instead of them getting to rest and rest their legs. In the morning on Friday, if they keep doing that, they won't be able to even perform to their best, right? And this is when they should focus on building their athletic resume and still be able to stay eligible to play. But rest, sleep, and Kevin, when I talk about rest, I take it serious because not only for the young athletes, for everybody, that's when our body heals. That's when our body recovers from the grind of academics, the grind of mental, and the physical demand that we put through. So treat your recovery as serious as your training. Because if you train hard, you play hard, your body needs to cycle back and recover to be able to get ready for the next grind. That's for the athletes. Because High School Champions League is the cream of the crop in high school competition in the country right now.
Right.
My second topic will be, like I said, keeping parents' perspective during high school state rivalry, right? You know, parents, as conference and Champions League matches heat up, the tension on the bleachers, trust me, Kevin, it gets hyped up. But I want parents to remember that your teenager feeds off your energy. When you stay calm and supportive and sip your coffee or whatever you have in your beverage cup, and focus on their effort rather than referee scores or the scoreboard, or even sometimes focus on what the adjustment the coaches are doing. I always try and tell parents, you're not in the locker room, you're not on the bench, you don't know what the game plan is that the coach is doing, and the referees are there to officiate the game to the best that they can. At high school level, at youth level, the referees do not have the benefit of video review, right? They don't have the benefit of having um, the play replayed so that they can review it. They don't have that. So they calling it live the way it has been forever, and they don't have the assistance to be able to review the play. So please be patient with the referees, relax, watch your kids, give them the right energy that they need to be able to compete, and just stay poised under the light and enjoy watching your kids play. That's to the parents. And coaches, it's important now with technology. There's a lot of video analysis where you can record your practice, your game, because players want to see themselves. We can tell players that you didn't go after that ball, you're losing possession. After the game, they may not even realize it because not every player reflects, after game. So when we have constructive video analysis where we can break it down and say, hi, guys, we plan to press, okay, but we weren't pressing. That's what led to that goal. They were able to break between the lines. But when the kids see it, right, they see themselves. I'm not saying just the breakdown of the negative stuff that happened, but also using video analysis to highlight the good stuff that they did. I always say we focus on 80% of the positive, what the kids do, and then the 20%, we can be constructive in tweaking it so that they get it. Not to blame them, to say, hey, we could have done this. I'll give you an example. Sometimes at practice, if I work with my team on how the back four wants to be able to position themselves when we're in the attacking third, I would keep an eye. Even if we score the goal, I'm looking at where are my back four or my three defenders in the back. Sometimes the kids will say, oh, coach, you missed the goal, because I'm looking at what we did at practice if the students or the players are doing it. So video analysis in a constructive way can actually improve the level of the kids, the players, and it unifies them. So film sessions should be built around tactical clarity, not to tear down their confidence, because during heavy game weeks, sometimes they need that rest, but they need the mental stimulant to keep the video sessions, I always say, under 20 minutes. We don't want to keep them there forever. We want to focus on team shape, structural decisions, highlight those positive plays. Alongside, we can correct them, but we don't want to over-index on it. We want to show the players how to solve problems on the pitch together. And we should not be singling out individual mistakes in front of the rest of the team, because it become counterproductive. So that's for my coaches. For the athletic directors out there, which is my number 4, Kevin, I'm just trying to go through this as quick as I can because it's important, the role that the athletic directors play. Right? ADs at this time of the year, they overwhelmed. We know that. When the early academic signs pop up, right, we need to partner with the guidance counselor. The reason I say that is when an athletic director partners with the guidance counselors and the coaching staff, right? It makes the grade check so they can be aware and not get blindsided to see that this kid is neglected his academic side, right? So I always look at it that between the coaches, the counselors, which is they have a thankless job as well because the student to counselor ratio is incredibly high, right? So if we can partner with the guidance counselors and the coaches, where we can keep an eye on their grades, then we can identify a kid before they drop on the academic eligibility. So maybe we can recommend tutoring sessions where the team can come together and do their homework, because we don't want them to become ineligible during mid-season, and then we have a problem. And it can actually impact the team, especially if they're critical players to the team. So ADs, work with your counselors from the academic standpoint. Let the coaches, be accountability partners for those student athletes because they just want to play, right? At the same time, they have to focus on academics because sports is a vehicle for them to get their degree and graduate because that is going to take them beyond their playing career. So that's my fourth topic. And last but not the least, Kevin, my fifth topic, of course, is about college integration. How do we need to be able to automate those deadlines during these match weeks? Believe it or not, Monday to Friday, yes, there are 2 practices and 2 game days, and maybe 1 or 2 day rest that these students are going through, these student athletes. So they need to be able to balance both, right? So this is particularly for students and families. We want to be able to offload that college application tracking to a platform like Coolidge that can manage that intense athletic schedule. Because with Ollie, the AI personal assistant within Coolidge will send them reminders, will make sure that their task is on track based on the student journey, whether you're a freshman, you're a sophomore, you're a junior, you're a senior. Each one of those class has a different milestones. They have different journey. So Coolidge will actually help them stay on track, help them, remind them of getting ready for their SAT, ACT, whatever test they need, and also incorporate helping them with their essay writing, with the essay genie that's within the platform. So finally, Kevin, when student athletes are managing homework, okay, and multiple match days a week, college prep is usually the first thing that gets pushed aside. This is where platforms like Coolidge provide that instant relief valve for these kids and the parents, right? Because as stressful as it is, they're being told to do your homework, do this, do that, do that. And kids have that attention deficit syndrome right now. I call it the scrolling syndrome, where they stay on social media and all they do is scrolling. But a platform like Coolidge can manage that, making sure they prioritize all their tasks. The scholarship option within the platform, the platform will remind them there's this scholarship that's due, apply now and give them a list of scholarship. And in between, they can also explore opportunities because that financial aid deadline comes so fast with all this athletic and academic combination. Sometimes they lose track of that. So when you have access to over 35,000 stackable scholarship opportunities, I encourage parents to take a look at it. It doesn't cost them anything while they're in the platform to navigate and search for as many scholarships as they can qualify for, and all they have to do is apply for it, right? And so to run that up, the platform manages their taskbar, tracks their application deadline, and matches the student profile with merit aid in the background. This can be going on even when they're resting and they wake up in the morning, there's action for them to do. They on their phone anyway, they get on the Coolidge app, they bang it out. while they're even traveling to games. So even at the busiest week, your college strategy keeps moving forward without adding stress to the student, the family, and then when they having dinner time, everything is on track. It takes the friction away. So, Kevin, what do you think?
Oh man, I'm telling you, oh man, if only you were around when I was around. Oh man, I'm telling you. I want you to know, thank you. I want to express to everybody about you're recovering from an ACL injury and you are spending your time helping us, and we're very grateful that we are allowing this time for us to help you get your message out, because this is a vital point. And everything you said, I totally agree with. Ba ba boom, ba ba bang. But the whole thing is coming from you. It is even better. So,
Okay, let me tie this together now,
all
Kevin, so
right,
that we can wrap this totally up, right?
all right,
Um, to the student athletes competing in the U.S. High School Champions League, I want you to keep your standard high, lean on your teammates, right? And take care of your body and your books. You're proving what it means to be a true student athlete every single day. Don't forget that. It's not easy, but you're actually proving to be a good student athlete. To the parents, celebrate every effort, support the journey. Seriously, enjoy these high energy match nights. As an official sponsor and partner of US High School Champions League, Coolidge is here to ensure that your child's academic and financial future is fully mapped out so you can focus entirely on enjoying the season, right? So
right.
head over to the US High School Champions League, ushscl.com, and click on the Coolidge banner to claim your exclusive High School Champions League discount, or go directly to Coolidge.com and enter the code QAFHSCL at the checkout. Keep pushing, and everybody, good luck in the season. And I hope this podcast has been able to help the student athletes understand what their journey is. Also, the parents on how we can support our athletes and the coaching staff and the program itself, and also the coaches who are just there because they have the passion for the game. They're there to make your kids better athletically. They're there to make your kid better and prepared for life. So the coaches, their job is even beyond the soccer field, beyond the training ground. So let's show some appreciation to the coaches and the athletic directors. That they're the conductor, they're the conduit to make sure that everything is going on. So from the partners, sponsors, from myself and Coolidge, I appreciate everybody, and I wish every team out there very best and enjoy playing with the select ball. And Kevin, once again, it's been a pleasure being on your podcast.
All right, Eddie O. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the United States National High School Champions League starting 11 or thereabouts with the great Eddie O from Coolidge.com. QOOLLEGE. Okay, Eddie, so long.
So long. Thanks, Kevin.